Hello, welcome back to Fred in the Shed. We're not up in a Radio Shack on this one. This is another beer related video, another one of my hobbies, and that is homebrew. And it's about time I did another brew in this PINTER 3 brewery system. This will be my third brew. We originally did the Ancestors Bitter, thoroughly enjoyed that. Then we had a spiced ale, a little bit different. It was a Christmas beer, quite drinkable. I drank the lot, and it remained very, very lively to the last pour. And that's what I like about this system compared to the normal barrel brew that I've done before, is that the beer stays very, very fresh and very lively right down to the last pour, and even when the barrel is empty, you still have carbonated gas in the barrel when you push down the lever. That's something I really, really like about this system. Now, when we get into this video, I'm not going to show you how we do this in great detail because I've already done it. I made a full intensive review on this PINTER 3 system. I'll put a little pop-up now in the corner. I'll also leave it in the description and it will come up at the end. If you're interested in this PINTER system, then I suggest you go away and watch that. What I will say is that I noticed that it's currently on offer, and you can get the barrel with the brew dock. I believe it's about £79.99 in the UK, which is quite an impressive price. Anyway, let's crack open this dark matter stout kit, and there'll be a little barcode. We can read that on our phone, and it will give us the instructions what we need to do to get this beer started. So there we go. Got the PINTER app back on my newer phone. Choose which beer we're going to be brewing. All of the beers are here, of course. We're doing the Guinness Dark Matter. Then we have a choice of brewing times, whether we want to do the minimum one if we're in a rush. I just go for the recommended, to be perfectly honest. There we go. So brewing is only going to take 5 days, and then conditioning, which I'll probably do that in the shed, that will take 7 days. So our start date today, 26th of February 24, and our tapping date when we can pour the beer, 9th of March 2024. So really, really happy with that.
Just going to jump onto fast forward for a bit here because we've seen all this in the main video. So basically what I've done, I've sterilised the vessel with the sterilising solution that's provided. I've then heated up the beer mix this time, which was a tip someone gave me on the last video. Thanks for that. And then we've added it in. It's much easier when it's been warmed up in a bowl. Once that's in, we can then top up with cold water to the line inside the vessel. Add the brewer's yeast. Put the top on, and then we give it a good old shake, and then it's done. There's no sugar to add, there's no mess. It's very, very easy to do.
So that's it. Basically, everything's mixed up, dead easy. I need to put this somewhere in a relatively warm room. We're mid sort of winter here in the UK, so I'm going to put it upstairs in my bathroom where it's about 17-18 degrees, and that's an optimum temperature. And then we'll leave it for the 5 days that it says for the brewing, and then we can get on with the conditioning. Dead easy. I should just twist the vessel and the bottom should come off, if I can remember which way. I can't remember which way to do it. I think it's this way. Whoa! Well, if I was worried about there being a lack of carbonation, that's probably the liveliest one I've ever had. Slightly covered me, got me on the glasses, but wow, look at that. That is all that lovely yeast there. I'm not going to taste it, but oh, that smells really nice actually. It smells really like a sort of a very rich beery smell. The missus will hate it when she comes home from work. Brilliant. The fermentation process definitely works there. And brilliant. So I'll need to sort of clear all this up. Also, you have to do a little bit of clearing up on the vessel itself. You can see around the valve there. I need to clear that up, wash that down, and then we can attach the tap, and then it's going to go into the shed. Fantastic. Still coming out now. It's just cleaning out the brew dock. I'm going to say this is probably the only messy part, or other than when you've finished with the barrel, you just have to give that a rinse out. But this is probably the only messy part in the whole process. If you compare this to a traditional beer brewing where you've got barrels and you have to siphon the beer into bottles, this is that so much easier. Welcome back to Fred's shed. So my phone has told me that the black stuff has now conditioned. It's been a week in this shed here, and I'm just going to try it. I've already taken out a glass and disposed of it because you have to clear the tap. Here we go then. Let's give it a pour. It was quite lively when I poured the last glass. And there we go. Hopefully you can see that. It's coming out on the camera. Just starting to clear. It's got a nice creamy head on it, like you'd expect with a Guinness. Right, going to give it a taste test, see what I think. Oh, it's pleasant. Have another slurp. It's smooth. It is very smooth, but it's very, to me, that's very slightly sweet. And now I've got the bitter at the back of my throat. I've got the bitter undertaste coming out. So I'm gonna have a little bit more just to make sure. But I think, as I'm not in any particular rush for it, and it's just sitting here in the shed, I think I can leave that. I think I'll give it another week, and then we'll come back. It's got the right colour and it's got the right head, but yeah, we'll leave that another week, let it condition out in the shed, and then we'll come back and we'll see if the richness and the bitterness has improved. Right, back in the shed. I've left it a week. The only problem I'm getting now is, if you look at the temperature in here, 8.1 degrees today, so we're getting close to mid-March now, and the temperature's going up. So I did say to Mrs. Fred that I'm going to need to get myself a beer fridge, and do you know what? She went for it. She said, oh, we could get a nice wine beer fridge so I can make homebrew in the summer. So you're right, that's had another week, so hopefully that should change the taste, and I think it's now time to pour a little pint of beer, or half pint of beer, and let's taste it and see what we think. Okay, here we go then. Now when you pour this, you just have to be careful when it's full up, because it really comes out quite gassy, and you end up with a glass of mostly head, especially with this Guinness thing as well. So I want to just make sure that comes out. Now, straight away, to me, that looks like that's pouring cleaner. So that extra week, allowing that to settle, I think it's done marvels there. Still getting quite a really big head on it. So yeah, massive head, isn't it? So it's definitely got the creaminess that you'd expect with a Guinness. Not a particularly well poured pint. Very, very lively. Very lively. I think what I need to do is, I think I need to let that settle a little bit. And we want about that much head on it. So bear with me. So there you go. Yeah, you have to be very, very gentle with the handle, because a lot of head comes out. There's a lot of carbonation. But even though my glass is a little bit got dishwasher rash on it, it is a clean glass, just that it's been through the dishwasher. But yeah, you can see the carbonation going on there, and it has got that really rich, creamy head. It does look like a nice, lively beer. So I think we'll just have to see whether that extra week, allowing for the beer to mature, has made a difference, has taken away that sweetness. So time for the off-camera slurp test. And I have been drinking Guinness a long time, so I'll give you an honest opinion. Here we go. Oh yeah, that week's made all the difference. That sweetness that I had before, that's completely gone. Could do it being a little bit colder. So it's 8 degrees in the shed, so definitely need to get this in the fridge. Let me have another little slurp. That is very drinkable. Now then, the big question you're going to ask me, does it taste like Guinness? And yes, it does. Does it taste like draft Guinness? Guinness Nitro Surge? Hasn't quite got the richness of Guinness Nitro Surge, but then it hasn't got the nitro bubbles in it. But it's nice, it's quite smooth. I'm getting that really bitter undertaste now as it's hitting me in the back of the throat. It's a very nice pint. It's better, I think, than the previous homebrew that I did with Guinness. This is much smoother. This is a much smoother. It's got more carbonation. The other kit that I did was cheaper than this, of course. I mean, economically speaking, I suppose you're looking at about 160, 170 a pint, which is probably almost 3 times the other kit. But this is nicer. This is very smooth. So yeah, conclusions. I think that's the best homebrew Irish stout that I've done to date. That is very nice and drinkable. I've got nine pints of that in the barrel. Only problem, as I say, it's getting a bit warm out in the shed now, so I'm going to have to think about investing in a second beer fridge to keep this nice and cold. Unless I come out and drink it in the mornings, which I don't want to do. I want it in the evenings there. But yeah, no, very pleased with that. I mean, economically speaking, as I say, what is it, £16 a kit? There's nothing else to add. £1.60 a pint. If you get the full 10 pints, yeah, it's not the most economical, is it? It's probably comparable with maybe cans of original Guinness draft. Yeah, but it is nice and fresh when you pour it. I don't know if you saw that, how fresh that beer came out, and how lively and how carbonated it is. It has got a very, very nice fresh taste, which you don't get that in a can. It emulates it. And then the Nitro Surge Guinness is very, very good, but that is quite pricey. Check it out. I've got a beer fridge, well, beer and wine fridge really. I've always wanted my own beer fridge, and Mrs. Fred said, yeah, let's go ahead and get one. And here it is, literally just arrived, not unpacked it obviously. 85 litres, LED lighting, it's really cool. So looking forward to setting that up, and then I can put my PINTER barrel in there. I'm hoping it goes a long ways. If not, I'll have to stand up, and I can have fresh cold beer all year round. How cool is that? If you're interested in that PINTER system, I did a complete video on it. It was sent in for review, but I did a complete video, all the breakdown on how it works. They're not expensive. They're about £85, I believe, now for the starter pack. So I'll leave that in the description if you want to check it out yourself, maybe something you want to do. Anyway, going to end this video then. As always, there's the thumbs up from Fred in his shed for your view time. Don't get many views, small channel. As always as well, look after each other for me. Stay safe. Catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.